Jai Guru Pranam Baba, we can see you.
So, should I start afresh?
Yes, Baba, we can hear you also. Yes, Baba, please, Baba.
Okay. Today's topic, Sri Sanyal Mahashaya, his life, his love, and his living. Sri Sanyal Mahashaya was an incarnation of yoga. Sri Guruji, having done a lot of research, serious work, in-depth study, has written a book on Sri Sanyal Mahashaya. Sri Sanyal Mahashaya, you can see the front cover of the book. This is a beautiful dissertation presented by Sri Guruji for all the seekers of the truth. Significantly, Kriya should read it. Sri Sanyal Mahasaya was a lighthouse during his lifetime. His literature way. But now this book continues to be and will continue to be in the future a lighthouse, an eternal lighthouse, remitting guidance, instructions for the Kriyavans, seekers of truth, practitioners of yoga to navigate in their ocean of worries and sadhana. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, the philosopher statesman of India, had once said, India's history has for its landmarks not wars and emperors, but saints and scriptures. Sri Sanyal Mahashaya fits into this class of saints, and his writings also fits into that category of scripture that continue to inspire people and will be doing the same in the future. It's life, simple life. In practicing simplicity, he has exhibited a strength, a vitality, a vigor that as indomitable as that of an athlete, an archer, a determined warrior. Of course, he was a warrior of breadth par excellence. Sanyal Mahashaya was a lover of mother, lover of universal mother. In India, the land that is famous for astrology and horoscope chart making, in this India, when this boy was born to the family of Kailash Chandra and Bhuvanesh in the districts of Nadia, the birthplace, the birth district of Shamachar Lahiri and our beloved Gurudev. The family people forgot to record relevant information for making an horoscope chart. However, in subsequent times, collecting relevant information as available from the source of Mother Sri Gupta ascertained 20th January 1877 at the birth date of the boy. and the world has accepted it, including our lineage. The golden boy, simple boy, truthful boy, humble boy. Child was wonderful in the sense he displayed miracles during the infancy. As Lord Krishna exhibited miracles after miracles during his early childhood, from the day one till the Vrindavan grown-up days. Bhupendranath's father passed away at an early age of the little child. Even not 1 year was complete. He was just 8-month-old boy, or an infant, you can say. He felt it. He felt the loss of the father. He felt it from the kind of rigorous practices the widow mother was undertaking in memory of, sweet memory of her husband. The mother used to undergo fasting on 11th day of every fortnight in a month after month. That fasting is known as Ekadasi. And the mother was practicing Ekadasi in a very rigorous way and regular. No water, no food. And the child was living on breast milk of the mother. The infant, from the very number one day of the infancy, was wise and was sensible and sensitive to the mother's practices. On such days of Ekadasi, the day of fasting, he was also not taking breast milk from the mother. He abstained. In the fancy days, he inculcated, knowingly or unknowingly, in a very miraculous way, the path of renunciation. Is that not a wonder? I think no infant anywhere on earth so far have exhibited such a kind of model satyagraha to stand united with the mother in practice of her fasting in memory of her husband. Model satyagraha. Not a question of rebel. It's a question of reunion with the mother. It's a question of united devotion. His love of mother is really worth remembering, worth emulating in our life. I don't call upon the world community to address their infants in case of such widow mothers to go the Sanyal way. Modern times, it's not thinkable, not acceptable. But what is the lesson? The lesson is, I must worship my mother. I must respect my mother. I must follow my mother. I must protect my mother's family tradition, my mother's culture, my mother's civilizational customs. I must be in tune with my mother. This is the lesson. It is not a question of avoiding the food. It is not a question of fasting. It is a question of following the mother in a truthful way and of protecting the mother. Mother means the culture of the mother, the practices of the mother, the customs followed by the mother. I must be my mother's child. Speak in short, in brief. I must be my mother's child. The biggest lesson that we can learn from the infant Sanyal Mahasaya. I don't say that Bhuvaneswari, the mother, could think at that time that her child will be a Bhuvaneshwara, a Lord of the universe. The world teacher is a Lord of the universe. Bhuvaneshwari's child, Upendranath, was destined to grow in a different way, even though he has to grow within the four walls of family life, householder's life. That was his destiny. His love for the mother helped him to expand his love, to encompass the whole, the omniscient, the universal mother. Very much like Mukunda, who became Jogananji in later life. As Mukunda was intimately connected to the mother and subsequently gained intimacy of the universal mother, similarly, we find in Sandal Baba's life intimacy with the mother, and in subsequent times intimacy with the universal mother. Upendranath, as a lover of the universal mother, was thinking of two things: how the mankind can be saved from the miseries, how the mankind can be given a better meat to lead a better life, truthful life, how India can follow its ancient Rishi Jivana, the life of the Rishis, ancient realized masters, teachers, philosophers, seers, saints, how to recover that sense of glory and to rehabilitate a sense of participation in the lines of India's culture and yoga. During his early childhood Bardhaman days, he had a lively darshan of the universal. Sanyal Mahasaya's childhood, I can say the child mind was penduluming between mortality and immortality, with reference to attitude, with reference to his desire to know what is life, what is life after life. Like Gautama Buddha, in his childhood, in his youth, was thinking, why this mortality? Why this disease? Why this death? And what will be immortality? What will be its test? She was thinking of that in the same line. I were little vague or what? He was thinking to gain some knowledge about the reality behind mortality and the reality behind the immortality. Bhupendra asked the child, suffering, miserable suffering, losing health, losing energy, collapsing, terrorizing moments. And at that moment, he's praying to the universal mother. Mother appears in the form of a little girl, approaching towards his bedridden existence. From a little distance, little away, he saw the little girl whispering something, however inaudible may be to others. He grasped something which I can't explain. It is not written anywhere. But he had a glimpse of the universal mother and enjoyed the nectar of immortality and understood the futile existence of the mortal life. In this incident, what the lesson? One who cannot love his or her parents, mother and father, elders, teachers, how can he or she say, please the divine mother, heavenly father? To begin our spiritual journey, we should begin it from the home point, worshipping the mother and the father, elders, teachers. Then alone, the spiritual master can lead us in the pathway to heaven, pathway to God, pathway to realization. This is the biggest lesson from the life of Sanyal Mahasaya. On that day, he really gained a new life, new consciousness, new awareness that helped him to lay down the foundations of his spiritual life. Since that moment, his spiritual ascendancy is always on the rise. It's always a rise. It is rising. And full moon was never making an about turn to come to the no-moon stage in sadhana because of the blessings of the mother. We know the history of Mahabharata says, before to the commencement of the war of Mahabharata, Lord Krishna persuaded Sri Arjuna to worship Mother, universal Mother. Arjuna and the other four brothers, the five brothers together, they loved the Mother. But Arjuna was asked to worship the universal Mother in addition to the Mother. Mother appeared, gave her blessing, gave him the protection, the right protection that is due for Arjuna, the seeker of truth, who was selected by Lord Krishna to establish righteousness in the life of the people, righteousness in the life of the society. Lessons of Mahabharata, we find the same lessons in the life of Sanyal Mahasaya. Sanyal Mahasaya was a lover of adjustment with ever-changing situations. His childhood, his youth was subjected to frequent changes, shifts in places of study and places of work, places of living. He was not allowed to stay in one place. He was changing. Fate was changing his place, his station of stay, his station of work, his station of study, and the like. Ever changing. And he was trying to adjust. He never rebelled. He accepted this decision of the destiny as a gift of God, as a prasad. Accepted it with love. He was not a rebel child. He was, on the other hand, a comfortable child comfortably in tune with the command of the Lord. Sanyal Mahashaya, a practitioner of simplicity, a practitioner of hardship. Sri Guruji used to say, no hard toil, no gain. Where there is a hardship, there is a great harvest of spiritual dividend. This is Sri Guruji's assurance based on the teachings of beloved Gurudev and all masters of our lineage. Hard toil. Body is the soil, and we have to cultivate it in a very hard way through pranayam, through Mahamudra, through other techniques of the Kriya in sequence, as has been taught to us from time to time. Hard toil. Sanyal Mahashaya is a life and teaching which condensed to only one point of distillation. It is hard toil oriented devotion to God, Guru, and Govinda, the Lord. Lover of adjustment. During this period of frequent shifts as regard the place of station, place of work, and stations of study, he gained a fabulous strength to practice the higher principles of yama and niyama. That provided an inner strength to the boy to practice yama and niyama. Either because of the past lives, prarabdha, or because of his determination to be a good person, a good spiritual one. This period of hardship provided him the opportunity to study various Puranas, various history books written in very different pictorial story forms, and other epics, Upanishads, a little. In subsequent days, he became a lover of Gita and a lover of Upanishads. Lover of Upanishads. His life is a life of an ancient rishi, a prototype of the ancient seers. He heard that Lahiri Baba was giving emphasis on the study of Gita as a preparation for accepting Kriya. Study of Gita as a preparation. He was accustomed to reading Gita, but now he wanted to study and chant the Gita together. Study, understand deeper meanings, and chant sweetly. Pranayam and Parayam together. Both should go together. His Parayana, chanting, was loving and lovely. He would not miss a vocabulary without understanding its meaning, dictionary meaning, and its divine inner meaning. He would try to meditate on them. He was gradually exposed to the vast literature of Lahiri lessons on Gita in different forms. And he becomes such a beautiful lover that in his youth also, he started telling people around him the meaning of Gita. His early pravachan, his early discourses, in an, of course, not organized way, in a very early rudimentary form, started. Nobody had taught him. Nobody had trained him in the art of speaking, art of communication, art of expression. but he started it. That was the prize of loving Gita, worshipping Gita. Mother Gita gave him the boon, the blessing to spread the message of Gita, the treasure house of India's ancient learning, India's ancient discovery of the reality, the absolute, the truth, the Satchit Ananda. Gita, lover of Gita, lifelong culture of the Gita helped him to write books on Gita, which still stands as a wonderful cultural monument to his knowledge of Gita and discourses thereof. Lover of Gita. Once he heard a discourse that a saint was talking of the glory of Ramanam, the name of the King Ram. In India, we consider Sri Ram as Maryada Purushottama, the most exalted, most respected Purushottama, who has never committed a mistake in life, never violated the decency, the morality, the cultural, say, values, always in tune with the cultural ethos of India's civilization. The saint said, anyone interested for accelerated evolution, spiritual evolution in life, should chant Ram, the name of Ram, but better write down the name of Ram 100,000 times. It will help him or her. It will give him a catapult. It will give him a push to climb upwards. It appealed to his heart. Lover of Gita, lover of Guru, lover of the culture, now started writing the name Ram. The day he completed writing 100,000 name of Lord Ram, same night in the dream, Yogi Raja Syama Charanarayana came with the grace and initiated him in the dream into the Kriya Yoga. Gave him Ishta Mantra, gave him the technique, gave him the instructions, and told him the beauty of the technique and the excellent result that may come as a reward out of continuous and continual practice. He remembered everything. That initiation ceremony in the dream. But the next morning, he found little diffident. Why initiation, the dream? Why the Lord didn't invite me to go over to him, sit beneath his lotus feet and receive, and could have received the initiation? There is hunger within to meet the master, to check whether that's a real thing or a dream. It is just a dream or a dream replete with the realities. Little bit of suspicion, little bit of doubt in the mind of the young child. Teenagers are like that. They are not supporters of blind faith. As long as the query is not quenched, as long as their inquiry, their questions are not answered, the child moves one day to the court of the master, makes a prayer for initiation. Hello, my little love, are you not satisfied? I've already initiated you. Have you forgotten the day I appeared in your dream and I really initiated you into Kriya Yoga and gave you the technique? Okay, if you are still insisting, I will give you initiation, and he has initiated at a later date on 23rd June 1893. Bhupendranath intensified his practice of the Kriya technique day in and day out. There is a condition in case of the practice of the Kriya that it must be done in a solitary atmosphere, not in a marketplace, not in a public place, just in a private corner. He was living in a hostel, in a boarding, young student, difficult to find solitude. Exactly as we heard about our Sri Guruji when he was at Ravansha College, when he was staying in the hostel, he was practicing cycle after cycle when the students were, his contemporaries were asleep. Probably he emulated this tradition of Sanyal Mahas. For Sanyal Mahasa did it. When his contemporaries, companions were asleep, he was with his Kriya, practice of Kriya. This midnight practitioner of Kriya, because of the sleeplessness, had an effect on his health. It was weakening. Physically, he was a little bit weak, but mentally getting stronger. Looking at this sad picture of the child, his elder sister wrote a letter to Jogiraj Gurudev, my brother, your disciple, rigorously practicing Kriya in the hostel when his friends are asleep. And this longer midnight practice have already causing problem to his physique. I have its toll. I'm a little bit apprehensive what to do. Jogiraj assures the sister of Bhupendranath, don't worry, nothing harm will happen to the child. His life is made for other things, other works, many great works to come. He will live longer. Don't worry about his life. Don't worry about his health. Let him continue the practice. A sense of surrender. The lesson is a sense of surrender, a deep sense of surrender. The practitioners of Kriya should develop a sense of devotion for the master, no doubt, that is needed. But the devotion to the master should be further charged with the higher particles of surrender, complete surrender. I am at your disposal. Yogananda ji was initially, when was Mukunda the practitioner, little bit recalcitrant, unwilling to accept everything that Sri Yukteswarji told him initially. But subsequently, there is no his will, only the will of the master. Similarly, Sri Sanyal Mahashaya had united his mind, united his will, united his aspirations, united his goal with the command of the master. Practice Kriya. Practice Kriya. Climb step by step in the ladder of evolution. A command he never defied. Complete surrender. Health or no health, I have to practice. How many of us can do it? This is the greatest lesson from the life of Sanyal Mahashaya. I'm to rise as his grandson, great grandson, in the path of Kriya Yoga. If my great grandfather, Master Sri Sanyal Mahashaya, could do it, why not I? The same Kriya gene is with me. I must remember him this way. I must think of him this way. I belong to thee. I belong to the lineage. I belong to Gurudev. I belong to Guruji. If my belongingness to the Guruji is 100%, I belong to the lineage. I'll find solace. I'll find liberation there. There I'll find the darshan of Gurudev and all the masters of the lineage. Surrender. One of the greatest teachings of the life of Sanyal Mahasaya is to surrender. Not to worry about the destiny, the prarabdha, but to be a stronger maker of the new destiny. That is Sanyal Mahasaya. I am my maker of the destiny. I am to make my life greater, brighter, as the command of the master is being realized. I will be a new person, new realized person. Surrender. A lover of the path of surrender, a lover of Guru, a lover of Gita, and finally, you'll find in the life of that of Sri Sanyal Mahashaya, an inner desire. Of course, it cannot be called the goal, spiritual goal, but just a desire that he wanted to become a monk. He's a lover of monk, lover of monkhood, lover of the saffron, lover of the, say, Greek tradition. He was a lover. He wanted to be a monk. He contemplated that he has completed his Garyastha, householder's life, his responsibility towards his home, his better half, his children, his family. Now he should go for sannyasa. In his householder's life, he had completed the second phase and also the vanaprastha, the third phase. So now the fourth phase should be monkhood, accepting monkhood. He has tried many times and have failed. The final effort, final attempt, he goes away to distant Kashi Varanasi, meet a Guru, and seeks to be given monkhood. The day he was supposed to be ordained as a monk, he was almost three-fourth the path of covered in the process of initiation into monkhood. But his wife, our revered mother, Kalidasi, and Brahmachari Ravinarayan, our beloved Gurudev, both went there. Mother and the child went there and appealed to the Guru that a gentleman sitting here, seeking monkhood, seeking her blessings, have not received the permission from his wife. As such, his petition to grant him monkhood may kindly be dismissed. It was done in favor of Mother Kalidas. And on the return journey, in the course of the conversation, he said, I don't bear any grudge against you, my loving wife. On the other hand, it is the destiny that the God that talked to me, instructed me to come back and again start householder's life with more rejuvenated strength. Look, he was not an ordinary husband. He was not an ordinary man. He was an extraordinary human being, full of compassion and consideration. He loved his wife. That is his love. He loved his wife as a husband and as a master, guru. Sri Sanyal Mahasaya had taken all the steps to improve the social life and the spiritual life of our Divine Mother, Kalidasi. When I remember Mother, I also remember Navin Kali. I also remember Jnana Prabha. Three mothers. When I think of Mother, worship of the Mother, these three names come to my mind uppermost. Then I think of Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahamaya Durga. In our lineage, wonderful mothers of our masters, what kind of example they have exhibited, set forth for we to emulate. Mother Kalidasi, from the day of the marriage, was serving her husband with a full sense of surrender. Probably, I am free to say, our master, our beloved Guru, Sri Sanyal Mahasaya learned the sense, the deeper sense of surrender from his wife, Kalidasi. Kalidasi used to prepare food, eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner for Sri Sanyal Mahasaya. One day, she could not prepare dal, pulses. And when this lunch was served, he asked, who has prepared this item? And he could understand. From the taste, from the flavor, you could know this is not done by this wife or done by the wife. Look, what a kind of love. A lover par excellence. An honorable, honest, Upanishadic lover who integrated himself, his mind, his will, aspiration, heart, mind and soul with the better half. If men and women can follow this love, science and philosophy love from Sri Sanyal Mahasaya, ours will be a good art. Jai Guru, Jai Guru.
Let us close our eyes, sit erect,